Story time, Air Canada just tried to overcharge us $600.
Tens of thousands of Air Canada passengers are facing chaos at the airport.
When you are traveling with Air Canada and you buy a basic fare economy ticket, you are probably used to being able to bring a carry-on like this free of charge.
This is a message for Air Canada and Air Canada only. Not only did you cancel my tickets because of fraud.
You ever wonder why it costs a small fortune to fly in Canada?
Alright, so Air Canada screwed me, and this is going to cost me.
I just had the worst experience flying with Air Canada.
This is the start of my smear campaign on Air Canada.
Okay, let me tell you something right now. If you ever wanted to fly Air Canada, do not.
And honestly, the planes are getting smaller and smaller, and it's honestly crazy. Like,
she's a big liar.
Welcome to the Canadian Rant. Let me ask you something. When did flying in Canada turn into daylight robbery? You buy a ticket and think you're done, but no. Now it's baggage fees, seat fees, carbon charges, service fees, fees on top of fees. And after paying all that, what do you get? Delays, cancellations, broken planes, and customer service that feels like it doesn't exist. This is Air Canada, not a discount airline, not a budget carrier, but a company charging premium prices while delivering bargain basement reliability. Instead of asking passengers to offset carbon or pay extra for basic travel, here's a simple question. Why not use the money you're already taking from us to actually fix your planes and improve your service? Because Canadians aren't asking for luxury. They're asking for honesty, safety, and respect. Today, we're breaking down why Air Canada keeps proving, again and again, why so many passengers are fed up, angry, and done being treated like walking ATMs. Stay with me, because this story sounds familiar for a reason.
She's a big liar. And everybody on the floor, 3 days on the floor, because Air Canada.
so I flew Air Canada economy this weekend, and honestly, the planes are getting smaller and smaller, and it's honestly crazy. Like, I am not a large person. I'm like 5'6", like a very normal height. And in my seat, my knees are literally touching the seat in front of me. And like, I just don't know why this is a thing. Like, Air Canada, like, what is going on? Why is economy just shrinking more and more and more? And all of the discount airlines in Canada are shutting down. Lynx Air is shutting down, and so is Flair. So now prices are going to go up for these teeny tiny seats, and it's just not fair. Like, how do you sit on a plane for 5 hours with literally no space at all? Like, it's kind of, it's not good. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Tens of thousands of Air Canada passengers are facing chaos at the airport today because of a labor dispute. The airline has canceled dozens of flights ahead of a lockout of its flight attendants. Now, that's expected tomorrow. 8 months of contract talks with the flight attendants union have failed to reach a deal. By law, Air Canada has to issue refunds if it cancels the flights, unless it can rebook you on another airline. The airline says it is doing that, but a new flight might not be available right away.
Story time, Air Canada just tried to overcharge us $600 and didn't even mention it all on the receipt before we clicked pay. I was trying to book a vacation with my boyfriend today. We checked out. It was $2,000 total for the two of us. Well, it said that's going to be the price after taxes. This is what you're going to be charged. Boom. Then we were charged $600 more than what the tickets cost. And after looking at the receipt, it said that we were going to be sitting in business class, even though we never chose it as an option. It's so weird because it was never an option that we could choose on the iTravel 2000 website. And it was never in the receipt before we clicked pay. Like, it said this is how much you're going to be charged, and then it charged us more. So after calling iTravel2000.com, they ended up calling Air Canada, and we got $400 back, but the additional $200 was charged for no real reason. It never was on the original seat, so thankfully we got some of the money back, but so weird. So watch out for that, people.
You ever wonder why it costs a small fortune to fly in Canada? Spoiler, it's not because of our airlines, it's because our government destroys everything it touches. Unlike the US or Europe, the Canadian government actually owns the land the airport sits on, and they charge.
Alright, so Air Canada screwed me, and this is going to cost me. So I booked this vacation with Air Canada. I was feeling really good. I get to travel after a long time. But then guess what happened? I got this dreaded text message saying my flight's been delayed by 4 hours. Now, if there's any delay, you deserve some compensation. I come here to the airport, and they say, yeah, we have some compensation for you. A lousy $15 voucher to go buy some food. I'm like, that's great, but that's not enough. Good thing I'm a lawyer and I know my rights. Because of me, now you do too. Since my flight's been delayed between 0 and 6 hours, they actually owe me $400. The way I go about doing this is by filing a complaint directly with Air Canada or whichever airlines that delayed it, and give them 30 days to respond. They have to give you a reason. They have to say either they're going to pay you the money or they're not going to do that. If they don't pay you, you can escalate this matter. But understand, you only have 1 year from the delay to file your claim. So do it quickly, otherwise you'll lose it. If this could be helpful to you or your friends, share it. For more great information like that, follow Law Booth.
When you are traveling with Air Canada and you buy a basic fare economy ticket, you are probably used to being able to bring a carry-on like this free of charge. Well, that's not the case anymore. A carry-on like this will cost you a minimum of $35. That's only if you are traveling to North America or sun destinations.
Nonsense. I mean, it's coming with me, it's basically a part of me, and you're going to charge me $35 for it? I mean, it's crazy.
Somehow fair, but still, it's been okay for the past years that it was free.
We pay a lot for the tickets already, so I think they should put all together and not charge us.
The change is because of competition. We have competitors throughout Canada, and they all have, or almost all of them have, a similar fare. So we just align with competition to compete and offer our clients a choice on a comparable basis.
One expert pointed out that during the pandemic, many people were losing their luggage. So to avoid that headache and save on cost, they turned to carry-on.
For a passenger to get on a flight today and expect that passenger not to be able to have carry-on bags on a flight that goes from Montreal to Vancouver doesn't make any sense.
When you get to the airport, you can make sure that your carry-on is the right size to go on the plane. You can use one of these, turn your bag sideways, make sure it fits, and then you'll know that you're good. I'm good on the carry-on. And then for personal bags like these, they're still free of charge, so you can take them on the plane. Air Canada is also making another change for their basic fare tickets as well. As of January 21st, people traveling on these fares won't be able to change their seats that are automatically generated unless you pay a fee.
It's annoying. It's annoying because it's always fees that's added on.
It used to be like pretty decent to travel, but now like they're adding more and more fees. It's becoming a bit impossible.
Canada's Transport Ministry says Canadians deserve quality service and not additional fees. It says the business decision is disappointing and that it will affect seniors, students, and those who work hard to pay for their travels.
For someone who doesn't have a lot of money, it would be nice if we didn't have to charge for that.
Baggage fees are nothing new in the airline industry. Porter, Flair, and Sunwing already charge for carry-on luggage. Now you can add Air Canada to that list. So just make sure before you head to the airport, you know what your ticket allows you to do so you can avoid the headache of having to pay extra fees when you get to the airport to board your plane.
Okay, let me tell you something right now. If you ever wanted to fly Air Canada, do not. And I'm about to tell you why, as quickly as I can, hopefully in one part. 1, I called to book and add my pet on so I could take sweet baby girl right here on with me. The guy told me, sure, it's going to be taken care of. Don't worry about it. 24 hours before the flight comes, guess what? I get a call saying, by the way, we can't put your pet on the plane. Sorry. He hangs up on me. The most unprofessional thing in my entire life. He hung up on me. So I call back and I'm like, hey, sorry, you said you couldn't put my pet on the plane. Like, I'm so confused. Why not? I can't get a hold of the pet department. Okay. He was like, yeah, I need you to do it. I'm like, how am I supposed to get a hold of them if you can't get a hold of them? That makes no sense. So he gives me the number. I call them. It disconnects immediately. What? So I call back when I get home, and my mom's on the line too. Mama Bear helps me. She's like, hey, we need to get this figured out. Like, what's going on? This guy, Harry, worked for Air Canada, the only competent person that works for customer service for Air Canada. Buddy says, here, let me get my supervisor on, like, we'll sort this out. I'm so sorry. Here's the thing. You need an upgraded seat. You need flex economy. So we're like, cool, let's get flex economy seats then. How much is it going to cost? It's like $1,000 extra. What? $1,000 extra American to get my pet on the flight. That's fine. Okay, I already paid $300 to get our ticket in the first place, but sure, let's do $1,000 extra. And it's so much because it's 24 hours before, which wouldn't have been the case if Billy Bob Bops the first time would have told me that. But no, he couldn't get in touch with the pet department. That's bullshit. That's just not the reason. So, boom, 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 that happens. I get on the flight. Everything's chilling. Halfway from LA to Montreal, the flight attendant comes back and says, hey, message from the pilot. By the way, you have to get your bag from baggage claim in Montreal and recheck it to go to Ottawa, which if you're not from Canada or unfamiliar with Canada, let me just tell you, Montreal and Ottawa, 45-minute flight. Regional flight. So I need to check my bag again to go 45 minutes. Something I can drive? Okay, cool. So I do that. It takes me an hour and a half to get through security. I'm not kidding. Security line was literally like a mile and a half long. It was disgusting. I literally laughed hysterically. Like, people probably thought I was psychotic. But, I probably am. So I get on the plane. I bust my booty cheeks to get to this freaking flight gate. I make it there 10 minutes before boarding, or 10 minutes before we take off. So I pop on the plane. Everything's good. I get to Ottawa from Montreal. Guess whose luggage doesn't show up? Me. It was mine. Yep, they lost it and they didn't know where it went. They were like, sorry. Maybe, they were like, sorry, maybe we'll get it to you tomorrow. We don't know. So, they said they said it'll be there at 7 a.m. So, picking up where we left off in part 2, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
This is a message for Air Canada and Air Canada only. Not only did you cancel my tickets because of fraud 2 days before my freaking flight, you also gave me really great customer service. I was on the phone for 3 hours. And what do I get at last? Oh, your problem has been resolved. And they hang up on me, okay? They hang up on me. This is how mad I am. Thank you. So basically, I get an email notification that my tickets have been canceled due to fraud. And I call them asking what's wrong. They tell me that TD has not approved the transaction that went through. So I call TD after and I'm on the phone. They're like, actually, we have a reference number for you. They've taken the money out. Everything's gone through. There's nothing wrong. And we can't do anything for you. So here I go again, trying to reach Air Canada, not to say that I've been on hold for like at least 40 minutes each time I'm trying to call them. The second time I got on the phone, this rude man picks up and he's like, you can repurchase your ticket now. You have the refund. First of all, no, I don't have the refund. Second of all, I bought those tickets for $500. They're $1,500 right now. And my flight is in 2 days. 2 days. And I asked him to escalate the situation to someone higher than him. And he says no. He just goes like, no, ma'am. And then, and I say, excuse me, what do you mean? And he tells me that there's nothing else he can do and that my problem has been resolved. And I tell him that they need to be accountable for their problems and, the mistakes they've made. And he basically goes like, nope, goodbye. And then he hangs up on me. So that was my great story. Air Canada, never again will I be buying anything from you. And I'm going to make goddamn sure that no one else will. Have a great day!
Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to pull over. Y'all know I usually don't come out here. I don't complain. I don't put my business out there. But right now I'm just so freaking frustrated. My son went on a school trip. We've been planning this for 2 years. They went to London, Paris, whatever, Amsterdam. Do not let your kids travel on Explorica. Worst travel club, whatever they're called, travel agency that you can have. In Paris, they had them in a hotel that had no AC, clogged sinks and toilets, and there was mold in the rooms. That was the other thing. Okay. Well, now they were supposed to leave Monday to be here Monday night. The planes just delayed. Well, when they make it to Canada, they've already missed their connecting flight. So they put them on another flight from Canada to Chicago and then from Chicago to DFW. Great, no problem. They get to Chicago, they're excited, they're happy, the kids are, they're hungry, they're thirsty, they're ready to be home. They get ready to board the plane in Chicago to get here, and the boarding passes that Air Canada gave them were fake. How do they do that? And then apparently the staff starts talking about how this is not unusual. It's common for Air Canada to do this. How? How does that happen? And I'm sorry, y'all. I look like... Anyways, I'm frustrated. I just want my baby home. I feel for that teacher that's having to deal with all of this, because she has a huge responsibility on her shoulders. So grateful and thankful for her. Anyways, I had to let it out. Don't let your kids travel on the Explorica. And Air Canada, shame on you for doing that. How do you do that? I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for listening to me.
This is the start of my smear campaign on Air Canada. Number one, I'm gonna unpack the travel kit they gave me after canceling our flight and then making us wait in line for 3 hours to get $15, and then a hotel voucher.
Ahmed's just making himself out.
That's Ahmed. We met him. He's on our flight. Anyways, then they tell us that our bags are in baggage claim, carousel 10, then 8, then 5, right? And then we wait there for 2 hours, play games, have a good time. We walk back to check in and they tell us, oh no, sorry, they're not gonna give you your bags. So we're gonna give you a travel kit because you're gonna be here till 8 p.m. tomorrow. Keep in mind it's 7:30. Keep in mind we've been here for 5 hours. I can't wait for this. No way they gave me something in French that I can't even fucking read. What is that? A charger? Bye.
Oh, other side, right? English.
Shaving cream. Okay, Ahmed, that's for you.
I don't need shit.
Oh, there's the wooden toothbrush and the literal. That's the size of my pinky. That's one brush. Okay. What is that? What is this? How are we supposed to wash our face? Oh, we have that. Never mind. You know what? Let me pipe down a little bit, but I still don't have clothes. Hopefully this is designer. This better be fucking Gucci. Seriously. Oh! So what you're telling me is that it's I'm surprised this doesn't say Canada!
You'll actually like this, you can cut it at a later date.
Genuinely, I thought it was going to be Air Canada merch.
I thought it was too, and I was going to lose it!
I just had the worst experience flying with Air Canada. So this is just a friendly reminder, if you can avoid flying with Air Canada, do it. I was on a return flight coming from San Fran to Newark, going from Newark Airport to Montreal, and then Montreal to Moncton. I landed in Newark at 9 in the morning, and my flight was not till 5:30 at night. At around 4 p.m., I got a notification that my 5:30 flight would be delayed for 50 minutes. No update as to why. So now my new departing time is, 6:30. I'm supposed to be making my Montreal to Moncton connection at 8:30. So I go up to the gate agents at gate A2 at Newark Airport and I explain the situation. I ask, hey, I think I'm going to be missing my connecting flight in Montreal. Could you put me on a later flight? I know there's a flight from Montreal to Fredericton that leaves at 10:45 p.m. They look at me and they say, oh, you'll still make your flight. There's no need to switch flights. The flight then gets delayed another 50 minutes. So I go up to the gate and I say, hey, it's me again. Could I please move to a later flight? And he looks me dead in the eye and he goes, you still have 41 minutes to make your connection when you land in Montreal. And I stand there in disbelief. Because, yes, I'm flying into Montreal, but then I have to clear customs, I have to pick up my bags, and I have to make my way to the gate in 40 minutes. That's not really leaving a lot of time up to chance, or if there's a line, or what if my bags don't come out. Then they announce that our plane has landed. And at Newark, Air Canada that day was at gate A1, A2, A3. And there was a Toronto flight at gate A2, boarding. And I could see the gate agents freaking out, like something was going on. And I realized they had asked the plane that had come in for our Montreal flight to wait for gate A2, which was boarding all the Toronto people. That flight had to wait 1 hour for that Toronto plane to board. So now, not only is everyone on that Air Canada flight that's sitting out there late or miss their connections and will have to be compensated for, everyone on the Newark to Montreal flight who had connections are also going to need to be compensated for. Even though Air Canada had an open gate at A1 with agents and an open gate at A3 with agents, they made this plane wait to get off at gate A2 and wait till this Toronto plane left. And yeah, I'm only going to Moncton, right? But there were people on my plane that were going to Delhi, Dubai, Portugal. They all missed their flight and now they're standing there being like, okay, I'm not from Canada. I landed in Montreal airport and you've rebooked me on flights for the next day. Where am I supposed to stay? I assumed they were going to try and book me on the later flight. There's a real late flight out of Montreal to Fredericton, and I asked the gate agents if I could be put on that. They look me in the eye and they're like, we're ready for boarding now, so we can't help you. Even though I asked 3 times earlier with more than enough time to be put on that flight. And then they go, you've been rebooked on the 2 p.m. flight from Montreal tomorrow. And that's when things get really good, so stay tuned for part 2 because I'm running out of time.
Okay, welcome to my TikTok channel. Today, this message is for Baze, the luggage company. I'm not mad at you at all. I'm not mad at you, but I gotta show you what Air Canada did to my bag. So this message is for Air Canada, all right? Okay, so last month I took a flight to Canada. It was a boys' trip, right? I packed all my cute stuff in my once weekender bag that I bought from Baze. The beautiful Baze luggage company owned by Shay Mitchell, my favorite Pretty Little Liar. Today, 1 month later,
one eternity later,
I got my bag in the mail back from Air Canada. I feel like some explaining needs to happen with my bag because today we're going to do a get ready with me with what they gave me back. My Birkenstock literally melted. Not even mine. Borrowed for this trip. My brand new Zara pants. Air Canada, what happened? What happened, Air Canada? They were on fire at one point. On fire. So, can't even put those on. My favorite blouse, burned. It's burned. Like, was the plane on fire? Hello? This one's got many new holes in it. Beautiful. Love that for myself. This one got burnt on both sides. Or ripped, or destroyed, or eaten by the airplane monster.
That motherfucker back there is not real!
My favorite linen pants. Kind of looks fine, right? Just kidding. There's a hole straight through the pants. Hello? Air Canada, what happened? I washed them. They're also destroyed. But not only was the bag ruined, the bag is ruined, destroyed. Baze, get at me. I would like the brown set. Can I get a discount? These are my cute Christian Louboutin espadrilles. And they are also ruined. So let's put an outfit together and try it on. Air Canada, we gotta do better. We gotta do better than this. Also, I feel like you need to buy me a new pair of shoes. And I don't want to have to order a new bag, but I will because I really like that bag. And like, I feel like this. Why did you even send this back to me? We could have just pretended it was still lost. You already lost it once. My pants are falling down. Air Canada, we gotta do better. We gotta do better than this, Air Canada.
At the end of the day, this isn't about hating on one airline. It's about standards. Air Canada isn't a budget carrier. It charges premium prices. It benefits from government protection, and it carries the national flag. So Canadians have every right to expect better. When ticket prices go up, service should improve, not collapse. When fees increase, reliability should increase, not delays and breakdowns. And when customers are paying record amounts to fly, the bare minimum should be safety, honesty, and respect. But instead, passengers are left feeling robbed, ignored, and powerless. Customer complaints pile up. Social media is flooded with horror stories, and yet nothing changes? That's the real frustration. Because without real competition and real consequences, airlines don't feel pressure to do better. They just charge more and apologize later, if at all. So the question is, why are Canadians expected to accept this as normal? Now I want to hear from you. What's your worst Air Canada experience? Delays, lost baggage, extra fees, plane issues? Drop your story in the comments. Read what others are saying. Let's see how widespread this really is. If this rant hit home, like the video, share it and subscribe, because calling it out is the only way standards improve. This is the Canadian Rant, and we're done paying more for less.